Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. We got another little taste test with some candy today. We're going to be tasting Sam's Choice maple caramel, or no, salted maple flavored bars. Now, I don't know about you, but I love maple and I love chocolate, so I'm thinking it's going to be pretty good. It's like, it's got maple flakes with maple flavoring in milk chocolate. Sounds pretty good to me. But before we get to that, I thought I'd share a little Halloween lore around my family. Now, Halloween, it's never really been one of my favorite holidays. I just don't get into it. And it's like, I remember the first earliest memories I ever have were the first Halloween after we moved into the house I grew up in. Now, I was 3, and my sister was still living at home. So that particular Halloween, now it's funny because the memories are sketchy because, I was 3. And I don't remember anything in my life before this. But I do remember that Halloween, we were all excited. My sister was going to get to take me trick-or-treating. She was, I believe, 9 at the time. But, it was a different time. It was not a bad thing for her to hold my hand and walk me down the street and back. Heaven knows I wouldn't do that with a 3-year-old now, but in 1957, which is the year that it was, it just wasn't a big deal. But I remember I got sick, and I didn't get to go trick-or-treating. And I can remember she left to go trick-or-treating, and I can remember standing behind the curtains just watching out the window the whole night, because it was like, here we had been all excited about trick-or-treating, and she was going to get to take me, and I had a costume and everything, and then I didn't get to go because I got sick. So that's my very first memory that I, bring to my mind. Now, there's a funny story about my children, too. Halloween when my youngest son was 3 and my older one was 6. And we're going to get to that in just a little bit, but let's do that taste test. So, here we go. We got Sam's Choice Salted Maple Chocolate Bars. So, rip it open. And, oh, nice. Little square. Break a piece off. And give it a taste. Okay, I'm hiding this from my husband. He doesn't really like maple all that much anyway. But it comes with, they're broken up in the bag. I thought maybe there were some nuts in it, but those are all maple flakes. And I'm going to tell you one more time, they're all mine. These are delicious. One of their fall and Halloween candies that they've got on the Halloween candy aisle. And I thought, oh, I'm going to grab it and give it a try because it just sounds good. And it really, really is. Now, back to my story. Now, 1986 was not one of the good years of my life. We were, I mean, I don't know, is it politically incorrect to say we were dirt poor? It was all we could do just to pay the bills. There were days when, even having something for the kids to eat was a challenge. Because we had just moved from Louisiana back to San Antonio, and I didn't have a job yet that would have paid enough to pay for childcare. So it was just a rough year. So I said, well, you guys want to be ghosts? Kids, they're little. They don't care. They're like, yeah, as long as we're something. So we drove up to Goodwill, and we found a stack of white sheets. And I had a sewing machine and thread and all of that stuff. So there was nothing else to really be involved in. Just cut it till it fit them and sew it up, then decorate it a little. And I had in my head a picture of Casper the Friendly Ghost, with his little whirly on the head point. He almost looks like a Dairy Queen ice cream cone. So I get out my sewing machine and I make them these little ghost outfits that would drape over them and they could stick their hands out. And I made them a little headpiece that had what I thought was the pointy head of Casper. We got them each a white mask. And then I found some Christmas tinsel, the garland, silver garland that you put on the Christmas tree. So I used that to trim up the hats and make them a belt and around the, so they'd be sparkly. And they really looked cute. They did. I'm telling you, they were ghosts. Well, I wish I had a picture of this. Because we went out trick-or-treating, had fun. Well, then the grocery store up the street from us was having a costume contest. So we went up there and they were going to take pictures of each of the kids, and then you could go back the next week and find your picture. They were making a list of all the costumes and names for the pictures. We put them up on that little pedestal and got their picture taken. I come back and I look at what she had wrote down. And it had their names and ages on it. And under costume, it didn't say ghost. No. It said kitty, 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 or the initials thereof. And I'm like, I told her, they are not that. They are ghosts. And then I got them home, and I got to looking at them, And it's like, in all my excitement over making these costumes, it never ever occurred to me. But they did. They looked like it. They had the belts. They had, they looked like little club people, you know, running around in their kitty outfits. Fortunately, they weren't carrying flashlights. I was. It would have looked like they were carrying a torch. I have laughed many, many times over that Halloween, but the kids had a good time, and I don't really think that any of the people up and down the street gave it a second thought that they might not be ghosts. But always be careful what you put your kids in, and make sure you look at them before you take them out. So, but that's one that I never lived down. I never got the picture because I was so embarrassed. And it's like, my gosh, they're going to think I'm terrible. But yeah, that was one of the fun Halloweens that we had in our house. That's what happens when you're raising boys and you're trying to do it on a budget. Well, I did make costumes for them in subsequent years, but yeah, they weren't white. They weren't robes. They weren't anything like that. But back to the candy. Once again, it is good stuff, and you have to give it a try while it's still on the shelves. And I guess we're going to see you again next time. Thank you so much for stopping by. And I'm trying to think of stories around the Halloween, and I'm sure I'll come up with some more before my next taste test. Bye. Have a great day.